welcome back to Connect. I am your host, Andy Hale. I'm excited to be talking with Monica Burkoth, award-winning trial lawyer, founder, creator of the Confident Counsel Academy. It's so good to see you. We got so much to talk about.
It's so good to see you. I'm so excited to get started.
There's so many thoughts going through my head, but let me start with this. So I want to tell you why I reached out to you. So we have this mutual friend. You're the one who turned me on to spiritual medium Jessica Rachel. She was first on your podcast, and you told me about her, that I had sessions with her, had been amazed by her, have had her on my podcast several times. I was doing a session with her recently, and she said to me, one of the things that basically she was telling me through my spirit guide was, when somebody's name kind of pops up, when you get the urge to like connect with somebody or talk to somebody, act on it, reach out. So you came up, and I this is I want to talk about this. I gave you short notice. I literally texted you just a few days ago and said, hey, I'd love to catch up. Can we jump on a podcast? And you said, well, I've got this trial coming up. I'm really busy, maybe, in a week or two. And I wrote back something like, well, that's fine, but it kind of goes against what you're saying, that you're never too busy. Don't let work get in the way of opportunities. And you're like, you know what? You're exactly right. And here we are. Do you remember how that played out?
Yes, that's exactly what happened. And I'm like, damn it, it's so true. Like, I needed to hear that. So thank you for saying that. Because I am like trying to call in all these opportunities for myself. And you pointed out exactly to me, they're coming my way. And I'm saying, no, I'm too busy for this. Nope, can't do that right now.
Yeah.
And how many of us are doing that literally on a daily
No,
basis?
exactly.
So
I find myself doing this sometimes too. And you basically act like you can't do this little thing or make that one phone call to somebody because, oh, it's going to take 10 minutes and I don't have 10 minutes. So it's like, pause. I don't have 10 minutes today to talk to this person, right?
Yes.
So that was the first part. I'm so glad you're here. And the second part is the reason you came up, and I've told you this on, I think on some LinkedIn messages. I have been preaching in 2025, my mantra, and I feel this so powerfully. I feel this so passionately. Create, create, create. We are all creators. Whatever your thing is, do it. Put it out there. Whatever your passion is, whatever you like doing, talking about, do it and create and post. Let me tell you, I have been so impressed with your, you have been basically motivating me because you're walking the walk. I mean, your LinkedIn, for example, anybody go to Monica's LinkedIn and check this out. You have constant LinkedIn messages, but this is the key. They're so thoughtful. They're so well thought out. You take the time and you'll have this long story with a message. It's not like I posted one time. It was like a cup of coffee. And I'm like, yeah, coffee and contemplation. It's like, no, that's too easy. You actually have things that are substantive, thoughtful, and inspiring.
I'm happy to hear someone is reading it.
Well, I wanted to ask you about this. So this is the theme I wanted to talk about with you today. You are doing exactly what I'm encouraging people to do. And I first wanted to have you explain, how did it come about? Like, what got you in the mindset of, instead of doing what you used to be doing, which was, posting and, you feel like you're doing a pretty good job. No, you have really elevated your game. You are all over it now. What led to that?
It was an identity shift. It was a decision at the beginning of the year that I'm stepping into a different personality. So a different personal reality for myself. I wanted to be the person that's the thought leader. I wanted to be seen as an outlier in my field. I wanted to be seen as the go-to person, right? And so I was like, how does that person act? How does that person show up online? How does that person, tell stories, and how do they find ways to resonate with others? And I found for me, it was going to LinkedIn, which is so funny because, Andy, for like a year, I had been kind of, I had created a podcast and I had been promoting it on Instagram or on another social media website. And I was trying to post and be consistent, but I felt like I couldn't keep up with the trends and the dancing reels. And it just like was never really me. And I was so scared to go to LinkedIn because it's the things that I was talking about, the mindset, the personal development, it was so, I thought there was a huge contrast between that and like the technical world of law that we live in. And I thought people would like look at my stuff and think that I'm a crazy person. And I just had some switch this year where, well, first of all, I just kept hearing, like I just kept getting downloads and I kept getting these nudges like you gotta post on LinkedIn, and I was resistant, and then I heard something that was like the thing you're most resistant to is the thing that's going to take you to the next level, and I was like, damn it, I'm doing LinkedIn and I'm going all in. So, and I also read somewhere that there are 1 billion users on LinkedIn, and in order to get in the top 1%, you only have to post once a week because
Once a
people are
week.
such, yes, because people are such lurkers on LinkedIn. There's so much, there's so many people on it, but everyone is so scared of stepping up and having a voice or being judged by their coworkers or being cringy that in order to be in the top 1%, you have to post once a week. So I was like, once a week, I'm going to post 5 days a week.
I was going to say,
And
what are you posting? Because every time I go on LinkedIn, and I never used to go on LinkedIn very often. I go on there now primarily to see things that you're doing. I mean, and the way it's set up, maybe their algorithm or whatever, when I go into LinkedIn, your post always comes up first.
oh,
Maybe because
maybe,
I'm
yeah.
reading those most frequently. And that's even how, if you remember, when I first connected with you, it was at least a year ago. It was because I literally opened LinkedIn and I hadn't looked at it in forever. And I came across a post, and that's how I heard about your Confidence Counsel podcast. Okay. And so that was to me, and we talked about this, like the universe was connecting us because why did I go to LinkedIn and why did your post first pop up and I see your podcast, and that led to all the conversations we've had since then. But I want to go back. This is what's so interesting. And this may take, we may have to have another episode down the road because you called it an identity shift. What do you mean by that?
And this is what I teach in the Confident Counsel Academy, which we could talk offline about
Yeah,
too.
we're
But
gonna talk about that too on here. No.
so anything that you want in your life obviously is created by your identity, right? So whoever you are, whatever you think, whatever you believe, whatever you say to yourself, however you act shapes your reality, right? So it's like a projector. Whatever is inside of you is then reflected out. So your identity creates your personal reality. So if you change your identity, you change the reality. So if you are somebody that wants a Lamborghini, the version that you are now is not aligned with the person that has a Lamborghini. So what do you have to think? What do you have to believe? How do you have to walk, talk, act, whatever, to be the person who's at the frequency of somebody who has a Lamborghini? So it's like a full-on
Hmm.
becoming as opposed to action. What do I need to do? And this is so different from the way that I used to hustle even up to 3 months ago. I was
Hmm.
always like, what can I do? What can I do? What do I need to do? Forcing stuff, doing things that I feel like I should do instead of just becoming that person, thinking like them. And sometimes, Andy, it's a little delusional. And maybe I'm not sharing some of the thoughts that I'm having with my husband because I'm just like self-talking myself into
Yeah.
that next reality, you know?
You sound like my twin because
Well, you're
the
my
time,
soul brother.
yeah, the time frame is the same for me. It's really been like the last, probably since December, where I feel like I feel completely different and it's similar. So the way I would describe what I have gone through is, and just a lot of the things I've read, people I follow and people that the content I'm interested in on kind of manifestation and living your best life and being aligned. What resonated with me was your vibration. And so what has really clicked with me is I now I feel so energetic. I feel so powerful. I feel so positive. I feel so excited about all the things I want to do. And just even the little things, grateful to be alive. It's a beautiful day. I'm taking a walk. And I've held on to that. And I just feel it. And what I found is when you kind of what I call when you elevate your vibration, then that's when I think the magic happens. Because then what happens is I've now elevated my vibration. I am feeling so energetic and powerful. I'm now attracting other people and other people's energy that have similar, energy and things. And now I'm connecting with people, and people are coming into my life, and opportunities are coming my way, and things are lining up because of the vibration that I now have. It's not necessarily specific. I'm not walking through every day saying, thinking about something necessarily specific. I'm just feeling elevated energetically. And so I recently posted a TikTok with my 5-point plan, which was elevate, elevate your vibration. 2, then radiate, release that vibration to the world, share it. When you do that, 3, you're going to connect with people. And then 4, when you connect with people, you're going to create, which is what we're doing right now. You and I are creating a podcast. And then when you create, you're going to be manifesting the things that inside you is your true path, purpose, and desire. And so I think you and I are doing the same thing, and we just articulate it in a little bit different way. Does that
It's in a
make
different
sense?
package. Yeah.
And so I really have been focusing on just the vibration, feeling powerful. And I think part of what you said, you were kind of like on LinkedIn, maybe a little bit afraid to kind of let loose. I think, and this is another thing that Jessica, my spirit guide, said to me in the session I did. She said, your spirit guide said, it's time for you to come out of the spiritual closet a little more. Um, and I said, that is so true, because I kind of downplay it if I'm talking to somebody, like, oh, is this going to be a little too out there or woo-woo? And I really tried to now make an effort for the things that I want to do, the content I want to create, the stories I want to tell, which is podcasts, my true crime podcast, Connect. I want to do true crime documentaries. I want to do true crime short reels. I want to tell stories. These are all the things now that I'm going to do. I'm going to create instead of just talking about it. Do it. And I think I mentioned this on your LinkedIn. You don't need anybody's permission. Just do it. Don't wait. If you're an artist, we're all creators. Don't wait for somebody to say, yeah, I think, that's good. You should do it. I'm just going to do it and not care what people think. Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I think that's what's holding most people back is worrying so much about what other people think. Nobody goes into your bed and lays their head down at the end of the night. You know what I mean? It's your life. You are the main character of your own life. Everybody is just a supporting character. Everyone is just you pushed out. So if you feel people are going to judge you, you're going to constantly feel like people are going to judge you. But if you feel like, wow, everybody's super inspired by what I have to say and people are liking it and people are supporting me, then it's an attraction-based universe. You're going to get that back. So flip the way you're thinking about it. It is what you say it is. So say it's something else, and then you'll start believing it.
Yeah, and I also think, like you said, with the identity shift and wanting to be, how did you describe it? You want to be like a thought leader,
Yeah.
and the way to do that is to create and
Yep.
post and put your point of view out there. I thought about this too. Like when I scroll through TikTok, and there's various people that I like that their message is something that resonates with me. Something hit me recently. I'm like, wait a minute. I used to think like I wasn't qualified in the sense of like I needed some kind of, TikTok inspirational degree. Like I went through the
Yeah.
TikTok inspirational program, and I've now been approved to talk about inspiration, motivation, alignment. No, you can talk about anything you want, whatever resonates with you. And in fact, there's this great Rick Rubin book. You've probably seen it. It's kind of like The Art of Creating. I forget. I've got it in my other room.
Yeah. Okay. So I have like this toxic trait where I believe that every time I hear the name of a book more than once, it's the universe sending me a sign that I need to read it. You're the second person today that's
I
mentioned that book to
get
me.
this book today.
So let me write it down. What is it? The Art of
Yeah. Let me,
Creating?
let me, I'm going to walk away, and we just keep this going 1 second.
Okay.
Okay, I had to go in my other room. The Creative Act, a way of being by
Yes.
Rick Rubin. So he's the famous music producer. He's now this guru.
Got it.
He's this inspirational Buddha type person. He is so insightful. And what I like, this is what really resonated with me in the book. And I'm going to read you this little introduction, okay? And this applies to everybody out there. He says, "Nothing in this book is known to be true. It's a reflection on what I've noticed, not facts as much as thoughts. Some ideas may resonate, others may not. A few may awaken an inner knowing you forgot you had. Use what's helpful, let go of the rest. Each of these moments is an invitation to further inquiry, looking deeper, zooming out or in, opening possibilities for a new way of being." You know what I love about that? I used to
Beautiful.
think, when I would think about spiritual medium and spirit guide and what motivates me and elevating my vibration and feeling good, I used to kind of have the mindset that I had to have all this backed up with some kind of a study, some kind of a factual dossier, like,
Yeah, that's the lawyer
it's
in you,
true.
right? Like,
If you go to the book of blah blah blah, there's a scientific study on this. And what I like he says is, this is just what he thinks and resonates with him. If something helps you, fantastic. If
yeah.
something doesn't resonate with you, that's okay too. So
Fine.
that's my mindset now. All I can tell you is what resonates with me, what seems to be powerful and work to me, and then share it. Some people it may click with, other people it may not. That's fine. And that's what I love about it. Go check this book out.
I'm totally gonna do that. Yeah, I love that so much.
He also has a lot of TikToks that are great, where he talks a lot about the power, like art and creating. And what he says is, and this applies to what you're doing, what I'm doing, don't worry about the audience, what he calls the audience. He said the audience comes last. The best art, the purest art, is what you want to create. And all that matters is what you want to create. And then put it out there without worrying about an outcome, how many likes, what's going to happen. You put it out there because there's something you thought was important to tell.
Yeah,
So
okay, so this exactly describes a post that I had yesterday. Many people might have thought this is nonsense, but I felt so compelled to share it. It was such a small thing. I don't know if you saw it yesterday, Andy, but I practice this concept of what was it? Intentions segmenting intention. I heard about it from Abraham Hicks. I don't know if you've heard of that
yeah, of
channel.
course.
Okay, so segment intending. Basically, as you go into a segment of the day, right? So like this podcast, this was a segment of my day. So I set the intention going in that we're going to have a great conversation, that we're going to have some laughs, that we're going to have some aha moments, that we're going to both feel charismatic and exciting and whatever. That was an intention I set for this segment. So yesterday I practiced this segment intending on my way into the office. And
Wow.
right after I got off the highway, I was, when you get off like on what I can forget this street. It used to be Congress. I don't know what it's called. Ida B. Wells. And I'm driving into the city to like park on Dearborn. And it's like, the city part, this kind of the stressful part with the traffic-y. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna set the intention. Then from here on out, from here to the parking garage, I'm gonna have a smooth, lovely experience.
I love
Just
that.
to test this out.
Yeah, I love that.
It's a 2-minute drive, 5-minute drive. I'm not kidding you. 30 seconds after I set the intention, some guy honks at me and I look to my right and he's trying to like merge in to the left turn. And I was like, oh yeah, yeah, sure. Come on in. And he's just like thumbs upping me and so grateful and rolls down the window, have a great day and is smiling ear to ear. And was just like such a beautiful, lovely experience. And I was like, okay, there's something to this. So then after I park the car, I'm going to prep to get like an egg sandwich. And I'm like, again, set the intention that, this walk and this trip to this restaurant is going to be amazing and da da da. And I go in there and they've added matcha lattes to the menu. I love matcha lattes. And, and then again, and I did that all day and I was just
Yeah.
surprised and delighted all day. Right. And it just like, I don't know what got me down that like rabbit hole, but But yeah, I encourage everybody to
No,
try that.
I think what you're also doing is similar to what I'm saying, which is you're elevating your vibration too.
Oh yeah,
So
yeah.
I do this. I remember I was driving somewhere the other day, and I might have been coming back to my office here, where it's usually by midday, there's nowhere to park around here. I thought, you know what? I'm not worried about it. I'm just going to drive my office, and don't even. It's all good. I'm going to find and I pull up, and there's a parking spot like right in front.
Yeah.
The mindset is I'm just not worried about it. It's all
Hmm.
going to work out. And I really try, and I can't stress enough for me the difference in the way I feel when I elevate my vibration. And I'll be this way like during the grocery store. I talk about this. I might just be walking through the grocery store, like I said, and just feeling light on my feet, feeling like, yeah, I'm, just feeling good. And I just feel like when you elevate your vibration and then share it, that's when you start to see all these connections and opportunities and things happen. And I saw somebody, I forget who said this. They said, the biggest compliment you can get really is somebody who says, I love your energy.
Hmm.
And I have gotten that so frequently lately.
Hmm.
They're like, I need some Andy. It's contagious. And
Yeah.
I feel this way. And I feel like if you are talking about on your LinkedIn, so it's clear with you that you really, this is something that's important to you. This is a message, the things you are sharing, you spent time talking about, and you're sharing it because you want to share it with people. It makes sense to you. It resonates with you. You're passionate about it. That comes through. And doesn't it make you feel better?
Yes. Yes. And I feel like I can't keep this in any longer.
Right.
Like there's so many unhappy people in our profession that I feel like an obligation to share it now. I feel like we're like called to share it now.
I think for you, there are, I've had guests on here and it sounds like almost like a life coach. Uh, I can see so many opportunities for you arising. You are this amazing trial lawyer and you always have that. And that's probably always going to be something that's with you. But I see so much beyond that because you're educating, teaching, inspiring, and motivating people, professional people who I think oftentimes get stuck in their mindset. And I feel like I was most of my legal career, the first 20 years, I was just kind of on the treadmill. I was doing a good job, but it wasn't, I say this all the time, Monica. Right now at my age, I have never been more excited about the things I am doing and want to do. Never before. And so what I really have been trying to tell people is it's never too late. I don't
Hmm.
care what you do, what your current circumstances are, or what your age is. It is never too late. But what I was going to go back to where I started was, I think you had commented on a post, and it was a woman. It said something like, it had her name and it said like a lawyer with love or something. Do you know what I'm talking about? She was like,
Hmm.
practicing law with love was her little tagline.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I do
And
know.
I
I think
thought,
she's an
that
immigration
is
attorney.
such a great vibe. And
Hmm.
I think there's really something to that. If you have this lawyer whose whole vibe and kind of tagline is practicing law with love, that just resonated with me. And I felt
I
like,
had coffee with her because it resonated so deeply with me. And she
was she
says
from
that she's
Chicago?
no, she's in Texas, I think. Or yes, or somewhere in the South. She's an immigration attorney and she calls her law
Yeah.
firm the happiest law firm in the world. She
Yeah,
says
right.
when they are like working out the paperwork for their clients,
Yeah,
everybody in the office will visualize and try to put out the feeling of like love and excitement for
I
them to
love
kind of
that.
like make it go through quicker and stuff. And they've had
I
a
love
lot of
that.
success that way. Yeah, I think it's amazing.
And she's grown this practice and she's basically put out her identity, and it's such a unique brand. And by brand, I'm still talking about somebody who's being authentic to themselves. That's her
Hmm.
brand.
Hmm.
Everybody has a unique DNA. Everybody has their own brand, who they are. But my point is, with you, I think there are so many opportunities, and I already see it kind of happening because I see how engaged you are, not only with people that comment on your LinkedIn posts, but you are seeing content that resonates with you, and then you're commenting on those posts, and you are now connecting with people that have a similar energy, passion, and vibe as you do. And that's when things start to happen. So you are such an example of you are doing all the things that I've been encouraging people to do and that I'm trying to do. Do you already see results, or is it kind of, are you still kind of in the stage it's just so early, you're just loving
No, I already see results. Andy, just last week, I've had 3 requests for interviews, like to be interviewed on a pod. I have another one at 2 o'clock. I have a depth prep literally at 1 and at 3. And in between those, I have 2 interviews, one with you and then one with a guy who wanted to do us, like he has hosts some segment called LinkedIn Lawyers.
Mm,
And then another one reached out to me, and I'm scheduling that for next week. And then last week, a partner at a firm, and I was like focusing more on women because I feel
yeah.
like I resonate more with female attorneys. And but an older male who's a partner principal of a law firm was like, I have an associate that has a ton of potential, but I think she's missing like that confidence or that it factor or some sort of a click, and I would like you to help her. And so I'm already talking to this guy about getting her
Wow.
and another associate into my program.
Wow.
And to yeah, Andy, like I think that, but I do think it's not just LinkedIn. I think it's the identity. It's the decision.
Mm,
I'm like, I feel like I'm carrying myself differently. I'm
yeah.
talking differently. I'm showing up differently. I'm showing up as that person who already has that
Yeah.
successful business, And I think it's magnetic.
Definitely. I
Yes.
feel it. That's why we're here, because I looking at your post, I feel you. I feel you so strongly. And I've got to talk to Monica right now. Let's talk, because I know you got a tight schedule today. Let's talk about the Confident Counsel Academy. Tell me when you founded it, tell me what it is, tell me what you're trying to accomplish with it.
So, you and I have both been into personal development for a while, me much longer. And I feel like I've read maybe 150 personal development and spirituality books. They all like I have like little nuggets that I've picked up, and then you pick it up a few years later and you get something else out of it. I've like been through so many courses and done so many manifestation things, and there's so much that I've learned that I want to be able to like package in my own voice and in my own framework to teach others. And so I created something, and I actually tested it out in like a beta format with you, a former employee of yours. I don't know if we probably don't want to put on the podcast, but Michaela.
Yeah,
So
you
I
mentioned
did
it.
it with her, and the results have been insane. And
Wow.
so what it does is like if you think about like elite athletes, they don't just like train their bodies. Like the best in the world, they visualize, right? They do affirmations, like they see themselves winning before that they can win. And so many of us lawyers, like we know to have the technical skills and we can walk the walk per se, but inside we don't feel we're good enough. We're constantly seeking validation from the court. We, have these fears of being exposed as a fraud. And if you have this like underlying programming running, that's controlling your life. Right. So that's keeping you small. That's keeping you from getting promoted. That's keeping you from persuading the jury or getting that client or whatever it may be. And so many of us, like you said, feel like we're just kind of like going through the motions when you could be crushing it,
Yeah.
especially because so many people aren't taking advantage of this power inside of them, right? And so I created the program, and it basically goes through like, subconscious rewiring, but also this job is so stressful and we live in this like constant flight or fight feeling. That is such a low vibration state when we were talking about
Oh,
vibration and
yeah.
frequency. If you're constantly in stress, you're vibrating down here, nothing good is coming to you. You
No,
need to
no.
find ways to clear that stress and
Yeah.
come up on the emotional scale, right? So just teaching those different coping mechanisms, those different nervous system regulation exercises is like, what? I don't have to have my heart beating all afternoon because I'm scared of the email my boss just sent me. Like, what are you trying to manifest good in your life when you think your body thinks it's being chased by a lion the whole time? The creativity shuts down, all of the reasoning shuts down, like, when your body's in fight or flight mode. So even simple exercises like that. So that, and then combined with different things that I've learned throughout my career, and different self-talk exercises and a lot of journaling. It's like self-discovery. It's like the professional edge that most people don't know they want, but that everybody needs.
So is this something that is you sign up for and you get sessions with you, or like what's the format?
So the format is, it's going to be right now, like, I think I'm just going to teach it in a live Zoom group cohort kind of thing over the course of 5 weeks. It's going to be like 90-minute lesson or 60 minutes of like the lesson, followed by like Q&A, maybe for like another 30 minutes, and with homework throughout the week that you do. And then for 5 weeks straight, eventually I'm hoping to like put that up online where you can kind of watch the modules at your own leisure and kind of be self-paced, with like maybe once a week lesson or a Q&A, maybe more of like a standing membership I'm envisioning even.
So if somebody's watching this or hearing this and wants to like hear more about it, where can they learn? Is it on do you have a link?
So if you go to my LinkedIn, there is a link right under my profile that says like next cohort starts, or there's also in the featured section, it says Confident Counsel Academy. You could click on that.
Because I was going to ask you, under your LinkedIn, I love your little tagline. It says, helping lawyers become the top 1% through identity and mindset work. That's what you're talking about, basically, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I think there's such a market for that in any profession, but especially in law. I can really see you carving out your little identity here. And what I can feel and see in you is how excited you are just about being Monica Burkoth today, what you're doing today. Like has there ever been a more excited Monica Burkoth than the one I'm talking to right now?
Probably not. No,
Yeah.
This is a different, I woke up today, both of my kids slept through, well, I have 3 kids, but 2 of them keep waking up, and all of them slept through the night. And I woke up and I was like, I finally jumped timelines. I've quantum leaped, like I've stepped into my ultimate reality. So no, I feel like, yeah, I'm happier than ever. I'm like feeling so great. And I appreciate you for noticing that.
I am so glad you carved out some time from a very busy schedule to do this. I'm glad that you took my little nudge to say, you know what, make time.
It.
We need to have this conversation. I am going to be following you in 2025, and I'm going to basically try to match your energy and what you're doing. I've been basically recording a lot more podcasts. I want to get much more active in talking about the things like Rick Rubin said. I'm going to share things that resonate with me. It may resonate with you. It may not. That's fine. But I'm going to put my thoughts and ideas out there, and I feel good about it. I like the people that it resonates with now, I can connect with, and they feel good about it. And it's going to lead to a whole host of, first of all, just your life, your baseline feeling is going to be better because you like now, you're spending time talking about the things you like, that kind of drive you. And then you're going to connect with people that want to have those same conversations. So right there, if that's all that happens, it's fantastic. But what also is going to happen is new opportunities are going to come your way. The lawyer who says, I've got this young associate that I think, you can unlock their potential. I think there's going to be law firms that hire you for a seminar to say, hey, we're having our firm retreat. We want you to come out and be the keynote speaker and address all the lawyers and talk about how to be a lawyer and also fill your passion, purpose, identity, and feel good about it. There's a whole thing for you where I think you're almost going to be it'll start with law, but I think it's going to be so much broader. It's going to delve into professionals, how to be a professional in a field, but also feel passionate, excited, and enjoy what you do, and have a little bit of love and, fun sprinkled in. That is where I see you going.
I love it. That is a beautiful vision.
So we're going to report back. Let's check back later in the year. We'll reconnect. We'll see how things are going with you. We'll see how things are going with me. I'm going to try to do what you're doing and just put more content out there, share it, and do it. Create. That is my 2025 mantra. So good to see you, Monica.
You too. This is a pleasure.
Conversation.
Yes, thank you.
Talk soon.